I welcome Your Excellency, the Governor, an interactive session that provides you with the opportunity to interact with the Governor, to ask your questions, to make your suggestions, to make your contributions, to give the necessary feedback that will help deepen governance in the state. Yet another edition of the Monday
Check 1, 2.
Governor Alex Otti Speaks to Abians. We're already behind schedule, so there will be no further delay. Immediately the governor walks in, we'll be taken off. Gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen, we're just witnessing the arrival of His Excellency, the Governor, Dr. Alex Otti OFR, for yet another edition of the Monday Media Day. Welcome, Your Excellency. The national anthem, please. You may be seated. Thank you for the beautiful rendition. At this point, I'll be handing over the microphone to His Excellency, Dr. Alex Otti OFR, for his opening remarks, after which Standing Bar of Sun FM and Joy of Rapid will now take over. Thank you.
Let me start by recognizing government appointees that are here. We have special advisors, commissioners, senior special assistants, permanent secretaries, head of parastatals and agencies. I want to welcome all of you. I want to also thank the media for coming on time, and I want to also thank those who are joining us from the comfort of their homes and maybe offices, thank you for joining for this media chat for the month of December, the last month of the year. Today is the 13th day of December 2024. Because there won't be any other media chat for the year, I want to wish us a happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year all in advance. This month has been full of activities. We are just coming from Aba, where we commissioned the Cemetery Road Phase 2, Umule Road, and Umuacham Road. Umule and Umuacham were done by direct labor, and the jobs were excellently delivered. So permit me to use this opportunity once again to thank the Ministry of Works for not only saving us money, but for also putting the skills of our engineers and other workers in the ministry to work. In my speech, I told the people that gathered, and we have quite a lot of people that excitedly came out to join in the commissioning, that I had received messages from our engineers in the Ministry of Works who are happy that they are being given the opportunity to practice what they learnt, if for nothing alone, that they are quite happy. Last week, we also commissioned some routes. We commissioned Apak Road, and we also commissioned Obiora Road, all in Aba. Before then, we commissioned Dozie Way, and we have flagged off several routes that we had awarded in the recent times. One of them is the dualization of the road from Onuimu all the way to the tower. And that work on that has started. We also flagged off the Omo Opera Ring Road. Work has also started with that. And before then, we flagged off the Ntega Mbause Omoala Road. Work also has started on that. There are a few more routes to be flagged off before the end of the year. And the Commissioner for Works will be communicating the details in due course. But then on Tuesday, the 17th day of this month, we shall be flagging off the proposed Abia Airport. I've seen a few people make comments without sufficient information. First time I spoke about Abia Airport, I had made it clear that it is a federal government project. What we have come to do is to provide the land and also support with logistics and ensure that the airport is constructed to standard. The other input we had made was that the federal government intended to build an airstrip but with our intervention and with our promise to come in at any point we are required to, the airstrip was converted to a full-fledged airport. We had reasoned that the difference between an airport and an airstrip is the wrong way. So what we are going to get is a full-fledged airport. We want to thank the federal government for their consideration and for agreeing with us that we can work together to give our people a befitting airport. So that will happen in the morning of Tuesday, the 17th day of December. Last Tuesday, we presented our budget to the House of Assembly. The total budget size is in excess of 750 billion naira. My budget speech has been published, so you can take time to go through it. But don't also forget that that is a proposal. Until the House of Assembly passes it, it remains a proposal. Having said that, it's instructive to underscore that about 82% of that budget is proposed to be spent on capital expenditure, while about 18% will go to recurrent expenditure. We, just like we did in the year 2024 that is passing, 20% of the budget is allocated to education, while 15% is allocated to health. Some people had made comments about the size of the budget being too high. But when you look at the size in absolute terms, it may look high. But if the budget size with inflation at over 30% and with exchange rate depreciation, then the difference may not be as pronounced as it looks. But the important thing is that every budget is an aspiration. It is aspiration that is founded on logic. It's always interesting when the budget is realistic and it's at the end of the day you would have implemented it, but of course circumstances may make you not to implement the full budget. But should you stop budgeting because you are not too sure of what will happen tomorrow? The answer is no. You have to keep planning. On our health care delivery program, we continue to push the frontiers. Our 200 primary health care center retrofitting has kicked off, and we have a stretched target of 100 days. 200 primary health care centers to be delivered in 100 days, and it's spread across excuse me, across the 184 wards of the state. So every ward gets at the minimum one primary health care center. We are also making progress. Our medical village project. I'm sure that in the first quarter of next year, you details of when we are going to flag it off, where it's going to be located, how those are work in progress. In terms of education, have made quite progress, particularly with the separation of tertiary education from basic and secondary education, and having them supervised by 2 different commissioners. So in the tertiary category, we continue to work hard to bring the Abia State College of Education Technical in Arochukwu, Yobunayano Polytechnic, Aba, and Abia State University to bring them up to speed. We've implemented or started implementation of the white paper and following the visitation panel. And the new management is in place in Abia State University, and the recommendations that were made in the white paper are being implemented to the letter. A combined convocation of Ogbonnayano Polytechnic happened last week, exactly a week, and it was a successful event. For a few years, convocation has not happened there. So I think 3 years. I used the opportunity to also commission a lot of the projects that we have completed, and we also continue to encourage our students to do well, pass out well. And one of the things that we did was to put on the table the sum of 50 million naira per academic year for 50 best students. And for the 3 years, 150 million naira. The procedures are already in place to pick out the winners who will eventually become beneficiaries of this money, which is a grant to support those that want to start their own businesses. I believe that has been so very well received. In terms of Abia State College of Education Technical, we found that a lot of things are wrong in that place, and we are fixing them, including fencing the place round and securing it, also putting infrastructure in the place. Abia State University has spoken about it. The new management has already taken off. Now for basic and secondary education, we continue to, the state of our schools are quite deplorable. There are not too many of them that escaped. So we are taking them gradually in terms of renovating them and making them look tidy for students to operate from. We have also started the process of increasing the number of teachers, particularly in the rural areas and in the hard-to-reach areas. What we have done in the last few weeks is to put in place a discriminatory compensation package to encourage people to serve in those areas. And my understanding is that people received it very well. So in the next few weeks, we intend to see that that has worked, so that we won't have any institution or any school that is understaffed. Agriculture, we have begun to look at the structure to manage a lot of our farms. Some of them had been concessioned in the past, but not a whole lot is happening there. So we are engaging to ensure that we we untangle some of those challenges. But within the month, a company called Nimbo Shaw that we had been negotiating with visited and signed an MOU to invest $120 million in palm produce. So we are looking at the Okwa area, and then after that, we will look at other areas. The important thing is that this company is partnering with another company that's called PHC that operates the largest palm plantation in Congo. And so they have a track record and they have the funding available. So we believe that that will give agriculture a boost. This is in spite of all the other areas that we continue to invest in agriculture. On a happy note, I think I forgot to announce that yesterday, your state won a prize at the UNICEF primary health care, they call it the Leadership Challenge. Abia State came second in the Southeast, and we won a prize money of $400,000. This is not the first time we are winning that prize. Last year we also came second. We are hoping that in the next year we will make the leap to the first position. I want to congratulate the Honorable Commissioner for Health and his team for performing that well. We believe it's still early days. By the time we complete all the projects that we have on hand, I think the story will be different. In the area of security, you all know about the few incidents in different places, in Anuimo, in Obakala, and somewhere within town, all in Omuahia. And that was in November. We have decided to rejig the security architecture, and we are doing everything possible to ensure that our state is safe, particularly at this time. We've made quite some investments. The issue about security is not something that you discuss in details, but I'd like everyone to rest assured that our government is not going to rest on us until we rid this place of any criminal activities, be them in the rural or urban areas. It is on that note that I will also encourage our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who had given indication that they were going to come to continue because we made adequate arrangements to protect everyone in the state, particularly at this time. There may be other areas. Yes, of course, you are aware that we had implemented the minimum wage. Unfortunately, there are a few challenges that came up with it, and I've directed, after meeting with Labour, directed that those minor issues be dealt with. In the next few days, salaries and for civil servants and pensioners will be paid. And of course, the 13th month's salary that I approved for this year will also be paid. We'll continue to enjoy, in spite of all the challenges, we'll continue to enjoy relative peace in the state. And we pray that it will continue to be that way. So without taking too much time, I would like to thank you for joining, thank you for listening, and then turn it on to Ferdinand.
Thank you, Your Excellency. That was quite a very extensive opening remarks. So at this point, as I did say earlier, I will hand over the microphone to Stanley of Sun FM and Joy to continue with the rest of the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Fedi. We appreciate you. Your Excellency, we also thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to handle this program once again. Distinguished colleagues, this is where we definitely would start the main thing that brought us here today. But first, my name is Stanley Mba, and I represent Sun FM 91.3. But I'm not alone. I have my very beautiful colleague here.
And I am Joy Notiri, representing Rapid FM as well as TV.
All right. You were smiling when you said that. I like that. All right. Okay. You know how we do it. We're still going to follow the same process, but today we will start with the electronic media, radio, television, online, and then print. But you should understand one thing. This program is flying live on a number of stations. It's a simulcast. You're hearing us live from BCA 88.1 FM, Flow 94.9 FM, Family Love 99.9 FM.
Magic 102.9 FM, Vision Africa 104.1 FM, Real 99.1 FM.
Sun FM 91.3 Bere, Sun FM 91.9 Abba, and Zik 96.3 FM Umaya.
Spin 95.3 FM, Rapid 96.5 FM. We're also streaming live on AF News, ABN TV, Ibere TV, and other online platforms.
This is where we will begin with the questions. And please, one question each. When we give you the opportunity to ask questions, do not go beyond one. So we'll start with radio. Let's have your hand raised, please.
Okay.
We're starting with radio.
Onwoka, let's hear from you. Radio. Yes, sir.
Your Excellency, sir, good evening. My name is Kingsley Onwoka. I work with Rapid FM. June this year, there was a statement released by the Commissioner for Information based on the students studying in India. So my question, sir, is what is the update about the payment or why the delay? Abia students studying in India on scholarship, sir.
Okay, next question, please. Godwin, Magic FM. Let's have it, please.
Excellency, good evening. My name is Godwin Ike. I report for Magic 102.9 FM Abba. My question is in the area of security, which you mentioned during your opening speech. We all know that this issue of insecurity has been a major concern, not just in our state, but in the entire Southeast region. So my question is, instead of fighting these security situations or insecurity alone, is the Southeast governors, or is it possible for the Southeast governors to collaborate? Because we know that most of these actors do come from the neighboring states or from one state to another to perpetrate crime and then go back. Is it not possible for the Southeast governors to collaborate to address this insecurity situation? That's my question, sir.
Okay, that is noted.
Okay, so before we take the last question from radio, please also remember that you can also drop your SMS or WhatsApp to this number 0907 rather 462 1067 0907 462 1067 for the last time before we take the last question from the radio. 0907 462 1067.
Okay, the last question from radio, please. Oh, can't see you from here. Any other person raising his hand or her hand? Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Good evening, Your Excellency. I am Chukwemeka Iku, Spin 95.3 FM. Your Excellency, you did mention that the airport project is a partnership between the state and the federal government. I would like you to, please, Your Excellency, make more clarifications on the percentage contribution of the state financially and that of the federal government, and then the total cost of the project. Thank you, Your Excellency.
All right, thank you very much. Let me start with the last question. When I talked about partnership, I traced the genesis of the partnership. It is not the kind of partnership that Chukwemeka you are talking about, where 2 or 3 people sit down and then decide that they would own a project and decide on contribution. The airport is largely a federal project. Okay, so what we did was to intervene to say, instead of doing this, why don't you do this? And if you need us to contribute, we are happy to do. So it does not mean that we own the project. No. I'd even gotten to the point of explaining to you that the difference between what the federal government wanted to do and what we want is just the length of the runway. So we are not in a position to begin to discuss those kind of details. But rest assured that the project is going to take off and is going to be delivered. Godwin Ike, your question is very apt. And you are asking if it is not possible for the Southeast states and governors to collaborate. It is possible, and we are doing just that. When you are dealing with security, terrains also have something to do with it. If your terrain is such that criminals can build hideouts and camps, they would swarm that area. Also don't forget that virtually all the security agencies report into the center. Even though governors are chief security officers, but the reality is that security in the country as we have it today until that changes, reports to the center. So collaboration is possible, and we are doing just that. In fact, after this chat, the Southeast Governors Forum, we have a meeting this night, and part of what we'll be discussing will also be how to collaborate. Thank you for your question. Kingsley, you talked about scholarship, and I'm struggling to understand. Is it for law school? Kingsley, are you there?
Okay, Abia citizens, they were given scholarship, I think, by the previous government. So I think they are stranded in India. And June this year, the government promised to pay their school fees. Then for the law school, I think they were giving grants across law school across Nigeria. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so I understand it now. If the state promised to pay the fees, of course, the state would have or will pay the fees. I do not have current information on that, but I would engage with the Honorable Commissioner that you quoted, and we'll find out what exactly is happening there. It wouldn't be nice for our students who were on scholarship to be stranded outside the country. So we will take that on board. Thank you.
All right. Do well to send in an SMS or a WhatsApp message to 0907 462 1067. 0907 462 1067. And next is online.
Online, can we see you, please?
Yeah.
Good evening, His Excellency. My name is Ifani Okali for ABN TV and radio. His Excellency, Merry Christmas in advance. Sir, consigned Abia pensioners recently addressed a press conference appealing to your government to be compassionate on them and pay their arrears of gratuity left behind by past administration. Sir, what kind of conversation is the state government having with these categories of senior citizens? Thank you very much, sir.
Next. Okay, Promise Uzamokoro, please go ahead.
Good evening, Your Excellency, and good evening, dear colleagues. Your Excellency, my question is about the civil service. Few months ago, there was an examination that was conducted by the Abia State Civil Service Commission for promotion, conversion, and possibly, should I say, for confirmation of civil servants that have been on probation. Last week, we saw a paper, though not from any government spokesperson or the commissioner, and the outcome of that examination or result shows that almost over 90% of the result did not meet up to the requirement for either passage or confirmation. Your Excellency, we have also seen a memo directing those who did, especially those on promotion, who didn't meet up to the score to prepare to receive for exam. My question is on the civil servants that are for confirmation. What is their fate, especially some of them who have been on probation for more than 2 years? Thank you, and God bless you, sir.
Any other hand up?
Okay.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Kingsley Alozie. I write for Candid Reporters. My question is on education. Recently, you adopted the pattern, the smart school education system, which was first enacted at Ohafia. And recently, we heard that 20 more schools is going to come into effect under your administration. So looking at the number of the smart schools that are planned, we have 17 local government areas. So my question is this way. Are we expecting to see more of those schools to go around in the local government areas? Then on the other part of it, what is going to be different? Because the pictures and the bone of contention as regards the one we saw at Ohafia is that a screen on the television, then a CCTV, then solar panel system. So in what way would it add value to what we want to do in the current educational system? And what is the maintenance culture? Are we still expected to see more in each local government area?
All right, thank you very much. Let me start with Ifeanyi Okali's question. You quoted the concerned Abia pensioners. And if it is actually the people you have in mind, the concerned pensioners did not make the appeal you said they made. The concerned pensioners were actually the pensioners that organized a Thanksgiving service in April when their arrears were paid. And so they came out to say that the Nigerian Union of Pensioners was attempting to deceive the government. So they came out to speak the truth. If it is the Nigerian Union of Pensioners you meant, I believe that I had responded to this in our last chat, where I said an agreement was reached, all the parties signed, and one party changed its position. I haven't changed your position. The other party cannot, strictly speaking, go back on the agreement that had been signed, except if they returned the benefits that they have taken. So, and I said it's marks of dishonesty for citizens, particularly senior citizens, who, by the way, were being owed several months, if not years, of arrears, and somebody who had no business in creating the situation offered to solve the problem. And you said, yes, please go ahead. And the person does it, and then you turn around to say you were deceived. You are the one trying to deceive people. So I hope I've made that clarification again. I mean, I'm happy to make it 10 times because I know what I'm talking about. Now, promise, Uzoma Okoro. Your question about the civil service. You said that an exercise took place where those who were shooting for promotion and confirmation had to go through examination. And your concern is that a lot of them failed. Well, that is the reality. If you sit for an exam and you probably didn't prepare very well, there are greater chances that you will fail than you will pass. So I have also got feedback from some of the people who took the exam to say that in the past, when they took those exams, everybody passed. But here, everybody cannot pass. So, except if you want to give me an idea of how to solve the problem. Otherwise, the directive that they should go and sit for the exam once again is the right directive. I'm sure you know about the story of in one state where somebody didn't do well as a governor. And then his father said, all of you said, my son failed, my son failed. If he failed, what do you expect him to do? Is he not to go and resit? So you should give him second term so that he can resit. I don't want to call anybody's name. But I'm sure you remember the story. So if you sat for an exam and you failed, you have to go for receipt. And prepare better. But I'm not too sure that we are where we will ask anybody to leave because he didn't pass. You may just be where you are until you pass. All right. So, Kingsley Alozie, you were asking a question about the smart schools. And maybe you just watched the video. If you had the opportunity to get to that place in Ohafia, your attitude would have been different. It is not just smart screens. There is broadband technology. Actually, Starlink. It is such an interesting experience. And what beat me was that our teachers, our brothers and our sisters, jumped into it, got trained, and they were performing as if they had been using smart technology to teach in 10 years. Some of them were just trained over a few weeks. So our people adapt very, very easily. All the way in Ohafia, not Omuahia, not Aba. By the time I finished with the going around the place, it was very easy for me to adopt it. But what I had said is that it can only be installed in schools that we have renovated and brought to our typical model schools in Abia. So we are starting with 20, but eventually it will go around all the schools. That is the way to go. That is the way the world has gone. So you can sit here and somebody in China is teaching you. You can sit here and teach somebody in Japan. So the education is now borderless. And the earlier we key into it, the better. Today you hear about artificial intelligence. You hear about robotics. A lot of people resisted it when it came out newly. But today, it's all over the place. So if you reject technology, technology will leave you behind. So it is going to go round. I hope I've answered your question. And I believe that's the last. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Before we take the next set of questions, let's also remind you that the interaction is live on BCA 88.1 FM, Flow 94.5 FM, 94.9 FM, Family Love 99.5 FM.
Magic 102.9 FM Aba, Vision Africa 104.1 FM, and Real FM 99.1 FM Aba.
Peseta 103.5 FM, Sun FM 91.3 FM Iberi, Sun FM 91.9 FM Aba.
And we have Zik 96.3 FM, Spin 95.3 FM Umaya, Rapid 96.5 FM Umaya.
We're also streaming live on AF News, Abian TV, Iberi TV, and other online platforms. And remember, you can also send in your SMS or WhatsApp to this number 0907 462 1067 0907 462 1067.
All right, next is the print media. I know we'll not want you to ask too many questions, so when you raise your hand, definitely you just give us one question. Sonny of Nations.
Your Excellency, my name is Sonny Wankwa, I write for the Nation newspaper, sir. Sir, during the twilight of the last administration, they told us that they already have a roadmap, 30 years roadmap for the state, which they did with the World Bank. Your Excellency, the question I'm asking tonight is, are you working with the roadmap? If you are working with the roadmap, sir, how far has the state gone with the roadmap? Or did you decide, sir, to use your own roadmap and jettison the old? Thank you.
Well, we're a bit gender sensitive here, and we've not really seen women raise their hands, so it's important we give them opportunity as well. Let's see. Women, no one raise hand.
No, someone is raising her hand.
All right, mother, please. Before they will say we know they recognize them.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Henrietta Ashikodi. I write for Nigerian Statesman. My question is this. Not too long you came in, some PAMSEC were disengaged. Some of them are still crying till date that their time was not supposed to have been over, but they were thrown out of the system with a promise that you were going to pay them their gratuity and all their dues. But till date, that has not been done. And they've been crying, begging you, and pleading with you that you should please pay them, at least pay them off, so that they'll be able to take care of their family. Sir, that is my question.
What is the question? Yeah. He just made a statement. Can you put it as a question? Because I didn't understand it. You just made a statement.
Madam
Henrietta. Henrietta, are you there?
Okay, sir, the question is, sorry, sir.
You made an allegation. So what is the question?
Okay, so, sir, what is your intention about trying to pay these people off? Since they have been disengaged from the system, what is your intention to pay them off? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
next question.
We have lots of hands coming from the print media. Just 3. It's only His Excellency who asked us to take more than 3. We have Steve Oko there. Steve, please go ahead.
Thank you for the privilege. Your Excellency, I want to join my colleagues to say Happy Christmas. Your Excellency, earlier in the year, I think I've forgotten the month. You know, one of those months we are moving from one country to the other, delivering lectures, precisely at Johns Hopkins University, USA. You were asked a question And you told the world that there was a forensic audit that revealed how your predecessor flitted away 10 billion naira on non-existent airport. And today, Abians are waiting to know what comes of that report. Did you decide to let it go? Or after the federal government must have been through with their airport at Nsulu, is Abia going to have its own airport, probably with the 10 billion naira you are going to recover? Well, let me give you this information. It's not a question, but it's an information, sir. I saw what probably could pass for the older, and I'm sure you are not aware of that. I traveled to Okigwe today, and this mobile, what do you call it? Mobile court, a combination of all the security agencies were there. Take a sense of commuters, particularly drivers that apply that road today. They saw hell. And nobody believed that we can have that kind of scenario under New Abia. What happened at Ammonia Junction today, Your Excellency, is not palatable. And I wish you investigate to find out what they are doing there is in line with the vision of New Abia. Thank you, Your Excellency.
All right, don't sit yet. I need more information because you just talked about mobile court and what happened. What exactly happened?
Okay, from what I saw, drivers were being, in fact, when you get to that place, you have to park and then go sort out things with them. I didn't see anybody they even asked to come to court. But drivers were really coughing out something serious, and they were lamenting. They were coughing out something serious. So,
all right.
Yes, we are Nigerians.
So that is like extortion, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Terrible one.
So,
not the normal extortion.
so
Terrible extortion.
It's good you are calling it what it is, because then you say what happened. It can be any. Thank you. I will respond to that.
Okay, we'll take it now.
Your Excellency, I am Sunday Wakama of the Punch newspaper. People are wondering. My name is Sunday Wakama of the Punch newspaper. People are wondering how you have been getting the money to do all this flag off, building of roads and everywhere. Abia is not getting well. However, sir, when our mothers come back from market, and my mother is still to come back, in their lobby, you have been flagging off roads everywhere, and particularly in Umuahia. Every road you flagged off have been based on Ibe area in Umuahia. I didn't hear of any road in Ohon. But that is not my question, sir. So my question is, the people will walk one day. They will become old. We call them elder statesmen or elders. At the federal government, at the federal level, some people formed what they call the National Senior Citizen Center. There, others get queued in and then became the first state trying to domesticate this thing in Abia State. As I speak, as I talk, surrounding states have had their domestication signed by the governors, even standing committees formed. And in Abia, these elder citizens who have served this land, who are trying to grow up, they are not going to depend on the state government. They're going to depend on international organizations when this thing is signed into law to get what can keep them going. In Abia State, they said, the House of Assembly have passed it, but waiting for the green pen to sign. Your Excellency, tell us, Is that bill on your table? What is withholding it? Signing it. Thank you, sir.
All right. Sunday, Wakama. I'm not aware of the bill you talked about. And I don't use green pen. Mine is red to make it effective. If you want to see green pen, it will not be. But I would. My senior special assistant on legislative matters is here, and even as you made your comment, he opened his mouth to say, "Where is this coming from?" Meaning that. But we will need to go and check. Would you know when it was passed by the House of Assembly? What year? Is it under this administration? Under this administration? I don't think so. There's nothing, once a law is passed and it comes to me, within 24 hours, it's either signed or declined. So I don't keep anything, and I've not seen that. But we'll go and check. You wore your local cap when you were trying to talk about your mother going to the village and not returning. My prayer is that she will return. When we are building roads and other infrastructure, we actually don't, at the moment, we know that we will touch everywhere. But we deal with the ones that we consider most economically viable. Do you understand what that means? So we don't know which one. We don't even know the difference between Ibeku and Ohoho. We just know that we are working in Umuahia. And by the time we finish with the metropolis, then we'll keep expanding. So we'll get there. I don't know if that the first comment was actually a question or a comment. Okay. So I shouldn't say anything about where the money is coming from. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Okay, that is my trade secret. It is what is called automobile. We somehow know how to manage what we have. My father told me that it's not what you earn that will make you rich, but how you manage what you earn. So we are managing it. Today, I was telling them the story of 2 roads that we commissioned. Umule Road, which is about 1.6 kilometers, and Umuacham Road, which is about 2.8 kilometers, thereabout. So when we wanted to issue a contract, I asked the commissioner to procure the road. That's what they call it in technical term. And he returned to say that the best quotation out of about 4 contractors was somewhere about 3.56 or 3.6 billion naira. And I said, okay, can you scope it and let's know how much it will cost if we did it by direct labor? He did his numbers and came back and said it will cost 1.5 billion. And I said, go ahead and do it by direct labor. By the time the job was completed, we spent 1.22 billion. So what we would have spent about 3.6 billion. We spent only 1.2 billion. And the same quality of road was done. And if you go there, you'll be happy with what our people did.
Thank you. So that is how we manage to save money. But we also, they say we are very frugal. I don't know about that. But what I know about is that Abia State government money must be used for Abia State, to do projects for Abia State. So, but thank you for the compliments, Mr. Wakamma. Now, Steve Oko, you asked a question about the forensic audit. You know, this thing is a process. The audit was turned into security agencies for further investigation. Information available to me is that the investigation is still going on. And I'm aware that people are being invited who had one thing or the other to do with the money. So it was not thrown under the carpet, far from it. The issue about mobile court is very strange to me. I hope they are not people who were not sent by government. But then I know that the people concerned, the chief security officer is here, and other people that have one thing or the other to do with security. I want them to investigate it and find out what actually was happening there. Like you rightly pointed out, that does not belong to the new Abia. You know, once in a while, what we call the vestige of the old order, who want to rear his ugly head up. And we don't waste time at cutting off those heads whenever we see them. So this may just be one of them. Henrietta, palm sex, that we are disengaged. You said they still have some time. But it's within the right of the government to determine who will be a PAMSEC and who will not be. So if they were disengaged, I believe it must have been properly done. As a matter of fact, just about a week ago, I had asked the Accountant General to ensure that everybody who was disengaged was paid their dues. I'm not aware that they have been pleading with me. Nobody had pleaded with me. Maybe they pleaded with Henrietta, and Henrietta is now pleading with me. But before you started pleading, I had already pleaded with the Accountant General to ensure that everybody is paid. So I'm sure those that have not been paid will receive their money very soon. Sonny Wankwo, you talked about the 30-year roadmap. Yes, I've seen that document. The problem with making such a long-term plan is that before you even start, a lot of things would make that plan unrealistic. I'm sure the people drafting, and by the way, it wasn't World Bank. World Bank wasn't involved. The document I saw, except if there's another one, but there was a consultant that was used, not World Bank. So some of the numbers that I saw when I looked at that document had gone wacko. Just think of exchange rate. By the time we came into office, exchange rate was hovering around 500 naira. It was 400 and something naira per dollar. I'm sure you and I know that it's over 1,500 today. So if we were making plans using those kind of numbers, you will see that the center will not hold anymore. Things will just fall apart. So what we are doing is to do a more realistic development plan, 3 to 5 years. At least you know you can make a few projections, even though you can't also be sure that those projections would remain valid after 1 or 2 years. So for us as a government, anything that we see that makes sense, we jump at it and we just run. So if we saw that the development plan made sense, we didn't need to reinvent the wheel, because we know that government is a continuum. But we also know that we shouldn't jump at something that does not exist. Because just like it said, you can not build on nothing and you expect it to stand. So you go to Omuma Road and you find there's no road there. So you have to start afresh. You go to Cemetery Road and you find there's no road there, you start afresh. We are not complaining because we applied for the job. But we will not inherit what we don't think makes sense. So we are working on our own development plan that will make sense. Guess that's all about the questions that I took note of. And I'll turn it over to the moderators once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And next we'll move over to television.
Television. Well, let's start with you.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Chinwe Ugele. I work with News Central TV. Your Excellency, I'd like to make an appeal first before I ask my question. I know you've been obliging others to do that, so today I want to take my turn of appeal. The appeal is that Your Excellency impresses it on the mind of the Attorney General of the state to refer the case concerning some civil servants over alleged involvement in fraud to the State Civil Service Commission, for them to handle that matter first before determining whether they are guilty or not. It's an appeal I'm making because I understand the persons involved are civil servants. Now to my question, sir. Some weeks back,
Can you clarify your appeal? I don't understand it.
my appeal is that, sir, as civil servants, the rule is that they be subjected to scrutiny and investigation by the Civil Service Commission first. Then if they are found guilty, then they will make recommendations as to what sanctions.
Is there any particular case you have in mind so
Yes,
that we
sir.
know we are? Yeah.
Yes, sir. The recent one you talked about some civil servants that were involved in pensions scam, something like that.
Do you
sir.
know them?
I don't, no one is related to me, no one is a friend, I just know they are civil servants and I understand. Yeah.
Okay. I want to make an appeal to you too. Please distance yourself from people who are fraudulent. Because the law you are quoting it upside down. If you steal money, you are handed over to the law enforcement agencies. When they finish the investigation, they can now decide to take you to court or not. When you finish, then it returns back to Civil Service Commission to discipline you. So don't make your appeal on the basis of a law that does not exist. It is a criminal offense to steal money.
Yeah.
So it's beyond the Civil Service Commission. Civil Service Commission will determine what will happen to the thief. But who determines who the thief is the law enforcement agents. Am I making sense? Thank you very much.
It was an appeal, no problem, Your Excellency. I've heard you.
And you mean my own appeal?
No. I heard your explanation. I don't know. I'm not a civil servant, but
I made an appeal to you. I said, stay away from fraudulent people.
Your Excellency, they are still accused anyway. To my question, sir. Some weeks ago, we had local government election in Abia State. And to the best of my knowledge, those who were declared winners have already been sworn into office and they've, taken off. But there's snag, there's something that is not palatable to the ears, and that is that some of the ad hoc staff who worked during the elections are still being owed. Your Excellency, I do not know if you are aware of this. And if you are, how soon can they be paid? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. There was a delay in processing the payment for the ad hoc workers. But the information available to me is that that has now been cleared. So I don't know if you are reporting something that is current or something that you were told some time ago. I'm aware that the little delay has been resolved now, and every payment has been processed. So you may want to go and check to be sure that the information you have is current. The government that I run does not enjoy owing people who are deserving of their wages. So I was actually upset when I heard that there was that delay, because the delay shouldn't have happened. So I'm sure that that has been cleared. Thank you.
All right, we're still taking questions from television.
We already gave you the opportunity to, so please next.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Emmanuel Mazwe. I report for Afia TV. Your Excellency, let me please take you back to the issue of the airport, but from a different angle. We had this understanding that previous administrations, talking about the government of Governor Otti and that of your immediate predecessor, actually mapped out a different place for the airport. And this time around, we are hearing about the Insulu area. We want to know what really changed, what informed the decision to, abandon the former place and now to the Insulu area. Could you please clarify this so that the misunderstanding, just as you mentioned while you were speaking, that people are speaking from an uninformed position about this, that this misunderstanding or form of mistrust created so far will be dispelled, especially from the series of agitations we have been hearing from some people in that area. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Grace Docas.
Good evening, Your Excellency, sir. My name is Grace Docas Onyekachi. I'm reporting for Rapid TV. I would really like to commend Your Excellency for your project across Abia State, especially on road infrastructure. And on that note, I would like to draw your attention to Aramo-Saka Ring Road. The dilapidated state of that road calls for a needed attention. To my question, sir, I'd like you to clear thoughts of some insinuations making rounds concerning the controversy surrounding Enyimba Radio and TV Limited, which was reported that the building was sealed by Aba North Planning Authority. The insinuations are linking that the government is trying to interfere in their discharge of media duty. So what is your take on this, sir? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Grace, let me start with you. Two questions, because it was two. You talked about Ariamon Saka. I'm sure it was a question. You cunningly sneaked it in as a comment, but I know the question we are asking is, what is happening to the Ariamon Saka Ring Road? Is that the question? So in that case, I will choose which one to answer. All right, so I'm aware of the Ariamon Saka Ring Road, and I've actually, what is holding us is budget. Okay, so we've exhausted the budget on works this year. We went back to the House of Assembly and did the environment. We have also exhausted that because of the speed with which we are running. So we couldn't accommodate any more projects for this financial year. But it's in the 2025 budget year. Okay. So Enimba Radio and TV, I am not very, very vast about that matter. But I intervened in it when the owner of the station called me. I was actually in Abuja in the National Economic Council meeting when he called a few times, and as I was coming out, he called again. So, and I picked the call, and he said there was an issue with a hotel he's building, which shares the same premises with Enimba FM and TV. Okay, so it is not actually Enimba. It's a new hotel coming up there. But I had instructed my people to hold on until proper investigation is done. One thing you can take to the bank is that as a government, we will not do the wrong thing in spite of who is involved. And we will not let anybody go away with the wrong thing. So I've asked both the Greater Aba Development Agency and Aba North Town Planning Authority to hold on until we get the facts of the case. Okay? Clearly, we made a release to say that the radio station nor the TV station were involved in it. It's a hotel, another business altogether. And we also advised the radio station to stay away from things that don't concern them, and they should not get themselves involved in, because when in the media space, you are supposed to uphold that integrity. So whatever you report has to be correct. I know that people get away with false reports, but the truth is that somebody can go to jail for reporting falsehood. That you get away with it doesn't mean that that's the right thing. Now, I think I answered Chinwe's question. Emmanuel, you talked about the previous administrations mapping out different sites for the airport. I'm aware of it, even though I cannot speak as someone with so much knowledge. But I know that by the time the airport project was muted, we first of all looked at that site together with a few other sites. Unfortunately, the site you mentioned had actually been built up. And you can't site an airport in a built up area. If you want to do that, then you are going to take down a lot of buildings and pay a lot of compensation. So that site was no longer appropriate for an airport. I think it was earmarked over a decade ago. So people will not wait for you when you want to do something and you didn't do it. So the owners of the land built up the place, and so we had to go look for somewhere that's not built up, but also meets the specifications. For us, what was important was to site the airport between Aba and Umuahia. So the proposed site is actually equidistant to both Aba and Umuahia. So those are the arguments. I hope I've answered your question. Agitation. Anybody can agitate. No, but we discuss with the owners of the land. And we are going to pay compensation to the owners of the land. The people that are agitating are politicians who are unhappy that what they couldn't do, somebody is doing. And we don't pay them no attention. So I don't think we should spend reasonable energy talking about people that are expired. That's the way I want to describe. So don't, because when you begin to talk about it, it begins to look like it's an issue. It's not an issue. They do not own any land there. The people that own the land are happy. And we said we are going to pay them compensation. All right? Do you have any other issue? Okay. I guess that's it.
We'll move straight to the SMS. And Your Excellency, we have questions coming in from the SMS. We have this first one that says, "Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Samuel. Your Excellency, as PIMS workers do not receive the new minimum wage that was paid in this October and November 2024, and some of us as PIMS, and some of us are being paid 22,000 naira monthly salary, sir.
Your Excellency, our performing governor, and everyone in the building, please. Sorry about that. Please, I want to ask if what's the update? Okay, he's asking, let me rephrase the question. What's the update on the Medical City project and also the Enyimba Hotel and Conference Center as they were captured in the 2024 budget? Thank you and God bless you. From Emeka Michael in Kano.
This particular question, you've taken care of the initial parts. It was actually trying to find out if there will be compensation for the landowners at Insulu. It's also said here, Abia Palm at Mbausi, what is the plan of the state government?
I didn't get the names of the two people, but then I'll go ahead and answer the questions. Okay. The last one on Abia Palm in Mbausi.
The question was asked by the president of Radio Fans Association, Comrade Elijah Udenwa.
Okay. So the same response I gave earlier, we have started. And Nembo Shaw is the first company that has signed MOU. There are also a few other companies that are in different stages. So, and we don't intend to reinvent the wheel. People who have done it before, people who have the experience, who have the skills, the competence, and the funds are the people that we want to deal with. Okay, so that applies to all the palm plantations in the different parts of the state, including Abia North. Now, what's the update on the
Medical City
Medical
project?
City? I talked a little bit about it, and I said we are still discussing, but we're almost there. But I don't want to speak about it in details until we've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, and that should happen in the first quarter of next year. Enimba Hotel, again, that one is almost in the bag. In the next 1 week, an agreement will be signed between the state government and Radisson Blu. And Enimba Hotel is going to be turned to a 255-room hotel with a convention center and, of course, a leisure park. So that will happen. I think the signing ceremony is happening in Lisbon. And it was just this evening that I nominated 2 of my colleagues. I'm sure the Honorable Attorney General does not know that he will be headed to Lisbon in the next 1 week to go with the Director General of GADA to sign the agreement. So we are almost there. Samuel talked about ASPIMS. ASPIM staff not paid minimum wage. Can that be possible? Except if they are not permanent employees of the state government. Maybe they are on contract. And if they are on contract, I would ask Governor Ezichi Kalu, please can somebody inform him to look at it, because even those who are on for them, except if we don't need them. If we need them, I do not agree that somebody should be paid 20,000 naira monthly. But it's news to me. I don't know about it. All right. Thank you very much.
All right, and this is coming from Reverend A.U. Azubuike from Aba. He says, months after the commissioning of geometric here in Aba, we in Ugunabo and environs are yet to see the reality on ground. Sir, are we also part of the steady power supply plan? Yet again, he has yet another question. What is the government doing about the proliferation of checkpoints and illegal extortion of motorists along Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway?
All right, Reverend Zubike. As a government, what we do is to support and promote the private sector. So it's important to understand that geometric is a private business, but as a government, we support them because we need power. So I will take note of his complaint that Ugunabo does not benefit or does not enjoy power from geometric. Maybe there's an issue. I know that the last time I engaged with the MD of Geometric, 3 of the 5 substations in the Aba Island have been fixed. And so there are 2 substations that they are still struggling with. And until the substations are fixed, you are very unlikely to have power. But having said that, I'm not sure. I don't work there. And I will take the message to the Honorable Commissioner for Power. I don't know if he's here. Okay, he's here. Okay, so Honorable Commissioner for Power, please take that up with Geometric. Let's know why power is not getting to Ugunabo. I'm also aware that they are still struggling with gas. In fact, the report I got yesterday was that the gas pipeline from Owaza was leaking somewhere, so they had to shut it down. And anytime that happens, power will go off. But I've told them to be thinking of alternatives. I guess that is where we should leave the questions on SMS. You have already taken 5.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, please, before we draw the curtain, it's just an appeal. This is Christmas. For 5 years, there's no power in Ohafia local government. And you talked about it a lot. I'm glad the mayor of Ohafia is here. It's a big year for Abriba. It's a big year for Ohafia too because of events. And people are coming home, they won't have power. I'm only begging, please, whatever you can do to ensure we have power in Ohafia will be highly appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you, Stanley, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, we draw the curtain on this edition of Governor Alex Otti Speaks to Abians. But before then, once again, let me yield the microphone to His Excellency for his closing remarks. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I know it's very difficult for people not to wear their local cap. Okay, so we have Ohafia in mind. In fact, I just approved some money to begin to move the connection from where it is now to E2. I think that's Honorable Commissioner, I think it's E2, right? Yes. Because I understand that they've not had power in the last several years. But the solution we are trying to put in place is going to be very comprehensive. When we acquire the Omuahe Island of EEDC, where that discussion is at an advanced stage, and the whole idea is to take control, because if we want to build a state that is dependent on the private sector, the micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises, the light manufacturers, the leather works, just name it. You cannot do it without solving the power problem. So that's why we are single-minded about solving the power problem in the whole of Abia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think it has been an engaging period. I thank you for engaging. Thank you for asking all the questions. I may not have answered all of them or answered them correctly, but we've taken note. Like I've always assured you, I do not know everything. And I'm not ashamed to say that I do not know. So there are a few questions that I've said, I do not know, I'll go and check. And when I do check, through my media people, correct information will be passed. So I just want to thank you for supporting this government. I want to thank you for being good Abians. And I will encourage you to continue to support the government by circulating the truth about what is happening here. This is a government that doesn't believe in lies. So if anybody tells you to tell lies, tell them that is not from this government. Where mistakes are made, we own up to the mistakes and correct them. Because we are human, so we can make mistakes. But we should not deliberately do the wrong thing. That one is not mistake, it's mischief. So once again, I would like to thank all of you. Compliments of the season. Enjoy your Christmas and New Year. As you travel, take things easy. Don't overdo things. This period is always a period of temptation. So I'm advising that people should take things easy. So once again, I'd like to thank you, and I wish you a good night. God bless you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The national anthem, please.